Hello everyone and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Wednesday, June 20th, 2018. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Hugo First.
And I will, sir. I already did. Thank you very much. Please remember, everybody, you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, picking up some merchandise in the link below. We will also be holding an Ask Us Anything on episode 500. Submit those questions to us anywhere you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of which are at iReaditCast. There is a pinned post on our Facebook. There's a pinned post on our subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/iReaditCast. We also have an email, which is iReadit@mjolnir.media. You can send them directly to me on social media at Schwan Michael or directly to Nathan on social media at Bimmenstein. Get those questions to us, and we will get them answered on episode 500. My live feed on Facebook is not working. Is yours working?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of. I mean, it's got like the spiral, but it might be working.
Might be working. So those that are in the... I realized that the people in the comments wouldn't be able to tell us if it's not working because... Well, I mean, I guess they would. I don't know. Let us know if it is working for you.
Don't let us know.
No,
Just sit there awkwardly waiting for it to work.
If you can hear this, let us know if it's functioning correct. If you don't, well, I'm sure you'll tell us in a minute when you're like, yo, what the fuck?
Don't do it.
So, Mr. First, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I've been real tired today. Drank an entire pot of coffee again. Then I drank a bunch of orange juice, so I've had to pee like the dickens.
So, quick question. When you say a whole pot of coffee, how big is this pot?
Like the 12... pot of coffee. It's like a standard pot of coffee.
Oh, I just want to make sure. I have a personal coffee maker at work that sits on my desk, and it's a little 5-cup pot.
That's for bitches. A regular pot of coffee is a personal pot of coffee for me.
Well, power to you, sir.
Size.
Do you just hold your lips up to the side and dunk it back? Don't even bother with a fucking cup?
No, I get a little styrofoam cup because I have in the off chance somebody else wants to have a cup of coffee. Like Heather will, every now and then. Normally, though, I make the pot of coffee for everybody in the area, and then they don't drink it. So I feel bad because it's an entire pot of coffee.
So you just drink it.
So I learned to drink an entire pot of coffee.
Good work, sir. Power to you. I am so tired.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So am I. I'm fucking drained. I've had to process so many marriages today. It is insane.
Oh, man, you're going to be processing mine early next year.
I'm going to be processing so many divorces here in like a year or two.
Damn, bro. So does that mean you just process divorces? Like, is wedding season also divorce season?
Absolutely. I call it spring cleaning.
Damn.
Because you also get an assload of evictions around this time of year, too.
All right. I am tired because...
Get the new house, get the new dog, whatever.
I hosted and conducted a training at work today, and it went for 3 hours.
All right. If you had lasted one more hour, you should have consulted your physician.
Yeah, right? No kidding. That was rough, but we got through it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm glad you can really get through that.
I know. It's tough sometimes, though.
Yeah.
And everyone, just as a heads up, not that I expect it to be an issue, but Nathan is getting picked up in about 40 minutes at his house. They're going to go see a movie. He's going to go see the movie Tag, which looks awesome.
I'm really excited. Me and some friends are going to go. We're probably going to end up playing tag afterwards.
You will have to let us know how the movie is when you return to the show tomorrow. But if we do end up running super late, Nathan might have to dip out, which I don't believe is going to be an issue. Normally we're done in about 30 minutes, so hopefully that doesn't come up.
Speak for yourself. I usually take 30 seconds.
Hey, sex jokes, womp womp. Okay. Or maybe I shouldn't use that sound right now, considering what we're going to be talking about in just a minute. Do you want to go ahead and jump into some news?
Yeah, first one is 8.
Yeah, it's more like 9 because there's another one that I need to add on there that I just haven't yet.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's start working our way through it.
5.
ICE director. ICE can't be compared to Nazis because we're just following orders.
This is submitted by Dr. Pennypop to R. Not the Onion.
So ICE, which is the institution under the National, Homeland Security.
Nazis were doing it for fun.
they're the ones that are, stopping people at the border, separating the families, taking the children away from the parents, putting people in concentration camps. And the ICE director says that they can't be compared to Nazis who did those exact same things because the ICE is just following orders. Now, if you do not know about what the Nuremberg defense is, it is that exact defense. And the Nazis tried to use it after Nazi Germany fell. The Nazi leaders, officials, and generals tried to use that defense, saying we didn't have a choice, we were just following orders.
That defense doesn't work.
It doesn't work because you had a choice. You didn't have to separate people. You didn't have to be a racist fuck. Like, you may have just been doing your job, but if your job is morally wrong and affront against human rights, then
you should not do your job.
You should not do your job. So, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help that they were not processing people when they definitely should have been in certain areas for asylum seekers.
Right. And
literally
in America,
turning people away.
I mean, it's even, you're even in a better position than the Nazis were, because if the Nazis tried to say, I'm not doing this, they probably would have just been shot. If you go, I'm not doing this, they go, fuck, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not getting shot around this time of fucking year.
Yeah, it's not a point in time where, because, on a certain point, I could see that defense of I either did it and survived and fed my family, or I didn't and they murdered us all. Like, that's one thing. But when it's literally, I did it so that I could keep my job and not get fired, it's like, that just makes you a shitty person. That just makes you really selfish.
Absolutely. Because then you are definitely thinking about your well-being as opposed to thousands of others.
So, but the Nuremberg defense does not work. It's already been shot down, and it doesn't apply here. So, get over yourself.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep on harping on that one.
5.
Lewandowski on girl with Down syndrome separated from her mother. Womp womp.
It was submitted by Throwaway Politics to Our Politics.
Yeah. So, during an interview, former Trump campaign chief Corey Lewandowski, when asked about a story of a girl that had a disability being separated from her mother as part of the zero tolerance policy for immigration, his only response was, womp womp.
What saddens me is that people thought that was an acceptable answer.
I mean, the couple of the people that were also in the were present at the interview did not think so. But
I'm happy about that.
But the fact that anyone believes that is a acceptable response.
That is absolutely not an acceptable response. You're a deplorable human being.
It's so bad. Like, even if you are on that side, which if somebody is, please tell me why. Like, I understand, that we have laws against, illegal immigration and stuff like that, but tell me on what level you believe it is acceptable to separate a 6-year-old girl from her family. And it's not like they're an abusive family.
I was going to say, I can think of, one, and that's if they're a very abusive family.
Sure. Continuing on with this trend.
5.
Senator denied entry to see Florida child migrant facility.
This is submitted by MotoGP fan to Our News.
So a senator from Florida...
You don't fucking deny senators.
Well...
You let them look at your facility.
Well, so they were told that they would allow them to see the facility. This is Senator Bill Nilsen from Florida. He went to go look at this detention center, concentration camp, for migrant children in South Florida and wanted to survey and look at their living conditions. They were turned away and said, yes, we will give you access in 2 weeks.
Yeah, after they clean up everything.
Exactly, and that's what the senator himself said of, if you were going to not allow me in right now and will let me come back in 2 weeks, then the only thing I can believe is that you are working on covering up the entire situation to protect yourselves and protect the administration.
Yeah, no, those guys are dickheads. This is fucking awful. You can't deny any of this. Watch, there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to start saying that it was an entire hoax and that all of those children were paid actors.
That's actually already happened.
There you go.
That happened on Fox News, of all unsurprising places.
That's, not surprising.
And they even had a reference to what?
Deep State?
No. There was a news news agency that they referenced about how it was like I don't remember which agency it was.
CNN,
NBC. No, I mean like Washington Post, Associate Press, one of those.
HuffPo or something.
Yeah, one of those. They referenced an article saying that like they've already proven that they're children actors, and the article they were referencing is from 2011.
Yo, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's a real long-ass time ago. You can't use that.
Be sure to check your sources, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, you look like Fox News.
Yeah, God. Well, and real quick on that Fox News thing, actually, we'll get to it in just a moment. Governor Cuomo announces intent to file multi-agency lawsuit against the Trump administration for violating constitutional rights of children and families.
This is submitted by Musk of Elon to our politics.
So New York is fucking done. And I feel like they're kind of done with the Trump administration on a whole, not on just this topic.
They've probably been done with Trump for years before.
You're probably not wrong. So, but they're going to be filing a lawsuit against the administration for violating constitutional rights because they have 70 children who are staying in federal shelters that are in the New York state. So part of New York is being used for this purpose, and they don't approve of it. So they're going to essentially get real messy with it.
I mean, it's what happened during the Obama administration, and that's what forced them to change some policies around. And because of their policy change and the way the zero-tolerance policy interact with each other is why we have such a fallout. So if your Republican friends are trying to blame it on the Obama-era legislation, just let them know that it would have been fine if, well, I mean, I guess not 100% fine, but it shouldn't have been so overblown if it weren't for the zero-tolerance policy. If they fucking just sat there and did some serious critical thinking about negative repercussions, which they never fucking do, then they would have understood what was going to happen.
Well, and the thing is most people understand that you cannot just walk right over the border and be welcomed into America. That said, under the United States Code, they have a right to appeal for asylum in the country. And there's a whole process that they go through to do that. And
they were turned away.
And they were either arrested or turned away, or arrested and then sent away. And so you're denying them a right that they have, even if they aren't they're not United States citizens. They still have those rights. And also, even if you do catch them or however you want to look at it, you shouldn't separate the children from them because you are going to be traumatizing those children.
So, with the Obama-era administration, like, ruling on this and everything, it was you separate them from the parent if the parent already had previous criminal cases against them that weren't this case, right?
Sure.
So, a lot of times, what would happen is if someone did, they would release the parent, like catch and release one of the parents with the kids and then detain the other parent. Or they would just catch and release both of them so that the kid wasn't in the system, wasn't being held or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the zero tolerance policy where they count this bit here where you're initially crossing the border as a charge and everything, it is causing this thing with the children to happen. So really what we really need to do is rework the entire system. And for once, I think I'm going to agree with Ted Cruz. We need to hire more lawyers and judges on that end.
Speed up the system.
Yeah.
5.
Arnold Schwarzenegger says politicians, not kids, should be held in cages.
This is submitted by Grow Your Own to our politics.
So he simply said, as the politicians who aren't doing their jobs and not innocent children should be the ones that are put in cages. Also, he went on to like a little bit of his own Twitter rant in regards to the Trump administration and their zero-tolerance immigration policy that it is all part of the conversation that we are having right now.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it really, even beyond this, we have a really bad problem in America of holding our politicians accountable. And
not only that, but like our politicians wait till the exact worst time to start trying to do stuff because they want to make themselves look good. They wait until there is a problem before trying to solve a problem.
Right. So.
5.
Trump explains that you have to take the children away in unhinged speech to small business owners.
This was submitted by Tototoki to Our Politics.
So the statement itself, where'd it go? Oh darn! I lost it. I had it. It's gone. No. Fuck. So he was giving a speech to a bunch of small business owners, and unfortunately, I don't know.
I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. It's kind of fucking shitty on his end.
Well, you know, Trump really needs to learn to not just talk on his own. Because, well, that's what gets him in trouble. Anyway, so the statement that he actually said is, when you prosecute the parents for coming in illegally, which should happen, you have to take the children away. Which, I understand what he's trying to say, is that in any situation, if you arrest a parent and there are charges being brought against them, the children doesn't go to jail with them. But the counter-argument to this is that you shouldn't be sending that person to jail anyway. While they are going through that process, they shouldn't be sent to prison where there are people who are who have been put there for a reason of doing something bad, whether it's murder.
Yeah, but when a lot of our system is run off of how crowded our prisons are.
I'm sorry?
I said when a lot of our systems, or when a lot of our system runs on how crowded our prisons are.
Sure. Chadwick says if you present at a port of entry, you're not detained or arrested. There is no separation. If you come across illegally, you get arrested, and then you can claim asylum. You have to wait in detention until a decision is made. There's a difference between waiting in detention and prison, because a lot of these are being put in prison, and then the children
because
are being
crossing illegally because they are turned away without even being able to apply for asylum.
Right. And so the point is that if that's the course that's going through, you shouldn't be throwing them in prison. They should have their own place that the whole family goes while the whole family works on being processed, not separating them up and sending the children across the country sometimes. Because if they're trying to get to America to seek asylum, it is going to be a difficult, stressful, trying time for that entire family as a whole. Do not make it worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because you're definitely fucking with the mentality of those children for years. All of them are going to need psychotherapy.
5.
Judd Apatow and more stars vow to never work with Fox again over coverage of migrant children.
This is submitted by the Orange Idiot to Our Politics.
So, a lot of connected to what we just talked about previously in regards to how Fox News is treating the situation, including directly speaking to the president, telling him to not listen to anybody besides them, which is incredibly ridiculous. Judge Apatow has went out on and saying that people need.
Did you say Judge Apatow?
No, Judd.
Okay, I heard Judge.
Oh,
Apatow,
I apologize.
And I was like, whoa. Is he like from the Dredd universe? Is he from Mega City 1? Is he a judge?
Absolutely. So Judd Apatow is calling on Hollywood to boycott Fox amid the Powerhouse News Channel's controversial coverage of this immigration crackdown. Basically saying that Fox News is trying to sugarcoat the situation and minimize its severity when that's the last thing that the media organization should be doing. They should just be presenting what is happening. And, well, this isn't the first time that Fox has been under fire for essentially being that organization of just catering to whatever their base is.
Pandering.
Yeah, pandering's a good way to look at it. And so at this point, he's very done with it and is asking as many people as possible to no longer do anything for Fox. Because, I mean, while you're a movie star and stuff like that, you have to agree to the deals that you take, so...
It amazes me that, all right, so, I'm sorry, Chadwick. It amazes me people were like, Hollywood, yeah, we should really listen to them. We hired an actor, essentially, as president.
Twice, I mean, if you include Reagan.
Exactly. It happens all the time because they're recognizable. He was on TV for years. He was on bad television for years. And we hired him because of it.
And even beyond that, I mean, just because somebody is in a profession does not discount their opinion. I mean, if people want to use their station as a sounding board for that, they are able to do so. That's a lot of how America works.
There are plenty of actors that have tons of fucking political science degrees.
Exactly. I mean, there's also like basketball players and stuff. People love to slam. What is it? LeBron
Dunk.
James.
Oh,
Is that the one that's been speaking out a lot on Trump recently?
I don't know. I said dunk.
Okay. And they're like, why?
I mean, I guess they want to slam, but they also have to welcome to the jam.
Dang, man.
It's a pun.
And, they were saying, like, you're just a basketball player, shut up and stay out of politics. It's like, he's still an American, he still gets his opinion, and there are several of them that...
Like, oh, he's a reality TV show host. Shut up and stay out of politics.
Like, it's... Just because you are an actor does not mean that you are uninformed or lack the right to have... to say your side. I mean, and Hollywood's a very powerful entity, so if the actors all decide they don't want to work with Fox News anymore, that sends a pretty clear message on their side.
It is a pretty bad thing, I'm not going to lie. But, like, saying that one thing's bad, but letting another thing happen because you don't think it's bad, even though it's in the literal same exact vein, is hypocritical.
Yeah. The last thing is
Fine.
that Trump just today signed an executive order that said that children no longer be separated from their parents when they are initially arrested.
Should have happened a while ago. This was submitted
wait.
by a lot of people,
However, caveat exception, that executive order also changes the offense of illegally crossing the border and sneaking into America from a civil offense to a criminal offense, which means that instead of just arresting them, putting them into detention while they wait to apply for asylum or whatever the purpose is, they will then be brought down with criminal charges, which means the children will just be removed from their parents a few days later rather than immediately. So it doesn't actually change anything.
It's not even a Band-Aid.
No, you literally just pulled the knife out, moved it down the leg, and stuck it back in.
You're like, oh yeah, I fixed it.
Yeah, so, the thing is that Trump is very predictable at this point in time because everything he does, he either does because someone told him it'd be a good idea or because he believes it will make him look good. Because that's all he wants is notoriety. I don't truly...
we have a Space Force now.
Yeah, I don't truly believe that he cares as long as it makes him look good and benefits him and the people he cares about.
As long as he can put his name on it, really.
I mean, or if it gets tied to his name in some way. So, like, it doesn't surprise me, but this is the wrong way to go about it.
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't actually solve the problem.
Neither does a giant freaking wall.
Yeah, the wall doesn't solve the problem at all. I mean, it would prevent people from directly walking across the Mexico border, but if you're speaking purely on illegal aliens, it's like 80% of them fly in.
All right, so they're either going to go by boat or they're going to find a spot where there's nobody guarding at the moment, and they're going to fucking put up a ladder.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's everything to do with that topic for today. I'm sure we'll be back, undoubtedly.
4.
Yeah.
A newly released study of about 15,000 high school students has found that fewer are having sex and fewer are using drugs.
Wow, this is submitted by Wagamaga to Our Science.
It has also been that teens identifying as sexual minorities, including homosexual, bisexual, or non-binary, has rose to 14.6%, which I don't feel like that means that more of them are, homosexual, bisexual, non-binary, etc. I feel like it is that the world is getting to a point where they're more comfortable with announcing so.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's not that more people are this thing. It is that more people are more outspoken about this thing.
A couple other things. So this is purely for America. So if you were somewhere else, I don't have any information for you. Some other things that were looked at. Of the nearly 63% of students who drive, 39% had admitted to texting or emailing. Who the fuck emails with their phone while they were behind the wheel? 16% of teens had ridden in a car with a driver who had been drinking. That's down from 20% from 3 years ago.
Yo, a lot of people email from their phone, especially while driving.
Really?
Do you not get to hang out with a lot of lawyers, or?
I mean, I'm not normally in the car with them.
I mean, if you're sitting there eating lunch with them and they're constantly on their phone, what makes you think driving's any different?
Bullying in school has not went down at all. 15% are bullied on social media, and 19% are bullied on school property. 7% have been physically forced to have sex. This is frequently
entirely too large.
Yeah, that entirely too large. It is more frequent among females than males. Not too surprising. And this actually is about the same percentage as normal that we've seen over the last decade.
So no real headway there.
Yep. So close to a third of students reported feeling sad or hopeless for a period of longer than 2 weeks in a row in a single year. This is actually up from around 28% from a decade ago.
That's only going to keep going up, baby.
14% of teens had misused prescription opioids. This is the first time this question has been asked and is very depressing.
Yeah, that's very, very common.
About 42% have tried some kind of vaping device such as e-cigarettes or e-hookahs, similar to what was found in the first time this question was asked in 2015.
E-hookahs are kind of cool.
But this is only 13% had done so within the last 30 days, down from 24% in 2015. So
yeah, vaping's kind of dumb.
The youth is getting better, I guess. They're getting sadder. Yep.
Not surprising.
Yeah, I mean,
judging by the state of the world.
Yeah, the world's a... Yep.
3.
Instead of finding your passion, try developing it.
This is submitted by Xer to Our Science.
Stanford scholars have found that the belief that interests arrive fully formed and simply must be found can lead people to limiting their pursuit of new fields and give up when they encounter challenges. Whereas normally when people find what they love, what they want their career to be, their passion to be, what they love doing, it is not something that you just fall into, that you just realize right then and there that this is what I've always wanted to do with my life. Instead, they have to go through and actually try things and put time into things before they actually find out that, oh, I enjoy this.
Yeah, that's something that I have known for a little bit, but I'm really glad that it's all being out there in an actual study, because it's understandable. It's not like it's like in anything really. You just got to put time into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I can even attest to that. I really enjoy talking into a microphone. Whether it's a podcast or I do announcing for roller derby, when it comes to doing voice work of any kind, I really enjoy that. And it took me about a year to realize just how much I love doing it. And throughout my first podcast, I mean, I enjoyed it a lot, and I was like, yeah, this is really great. And then it actually is probably more closer to 2 or 3 years of really consistently doing this. And when we take a long break because of technical difficulties or vacation or whatever, I'm very excited to come back to it. I enjoy podcasting and I really enjoy announcing. So if I was to turn something into a passion, this would most likely be it in some capacity, whether it's a radio or podcasting or announcing or anything like that. But and who knows, maybe this isn't it. Maybe there is something else out there that I haven't tried or got involved with yet that is the real thing that I love.
I want to be a voice actor, I think.
I mean, hop on it.
I think that'll be fun. I'm working on it, actually.
Woman who lied about being raped on college campus gets jail.
This is submitted by Chum Bucket for Your Mom to Our News.
Yep, so Mary T. Zulkowski, she finally pled guilty to making a false report of a felony in front of Bay Court District Circuit Judge Joseph K. Sheeran. And previously, the judge had said that he would not be assessing her jail time. Apparently, they changed their mind. And she was sentenced to 45 days in jail with no credit for any time served. If she serves her term, she'll be on probation for 2 years, during which she will be tested for drugs and alcohol and will be participating in substance abuse counseling.
I'm glad that this came to light. Be that as it may, this is not a reason to discredit literally anyone who says that they've been raped. You still have to go through process, as this woman has gone through process. And also, that being said, let's not immediately point fingers as soon as someone says something.
Yep. Things need to be taken cautiously, but with legit consideration. Chadwick says she should have to register as a sex offender. That is an interesting prospect.
I can understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.
The United States has officially quit the United Nations Human Rights Council.
This is submitted by Adam Cannon to Our World News.
I guess we'd have to be human.
Cue a bunch of people talking about how this is good because we can stop spending money on other countries.
Probably. In any case, so one...
Like I've said before, even bad people deserve rights.
The United Nations Human Rights Council, a 47-member body with rotating terms, and refugee agency have actually condemned the United States policy of separating children from their parents, which has been the theme of today's show. The United States basically gave a warning last year that if some things didn't change within the Rights Council that we would be leaving. And, well, I guess we're just... them saying that we're a bunch of, jerks was the final straw, so we are no longer part of the Human Rights Council.
All right. What countries are not part of the UN by choice?
No, well, it isn't just the UN. It's the United Nations Human Rights Council specifically.
Okay, sure.
So, I mean, I can try and find out. You mean by choice? I don't know how... What would be the easiest way to look up that one?
Google?
Well, I mean, you could probably find which ones aren't members. But,
Sure.
But which ones...
By choice? I have no idea.
By choice.
I don't know how you'd look that up.
Yeah, I don't either.
Witchcraft and magicry.
Yeah, something like that. So, I don't know. I was trying to look at like Wikipedia, but it doesn't really seem to give a succinct answer. So, I don't know. In any case, hey Nathan. Oh, God damn it! Damn it!
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
What did you care about in the last 24 hours?
That Vader died.
Yeah, I was very confused when you first told me this is the thing you cared about because I thought you meant Darth Vader.
Nope, I'm talking about Leon Allen White. He was Vader for WWE, also known as Big Van Vader. He apparently was in Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
In the live action Fist of the North Star. I didn't know they made a live action Fist of the North Star
Me
in
neither.
95. Anyways, Gary Daniels played Kenshiro. Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is this movie?
Anyway.
The thing that he's notable for is the Vader bomb, which is a fucking gross ass move that he does from the corner. Essentially, big ass fat man flops on you. It's not fun. The other thing that he's known for is for accidentally ripping off Mick Foley's ear.
Just one ear?
Just one ear, accidentally.
How do you accidentally rip off someone's ear?
Okay, so Mick Foley had this move, where he would pretend to get his neck caught in between the top two ropes, right? And he would pretend to strangle himself. Normally, the ropes were loosened ever so slightly so that he could do that properly. Well, this one night, the ropes were tightened a little too much, and he goes and he sticks his head in there, and he goes to pull out, and it damn near rips off his ear. Like, it's kind of dangling there. It's still on by a good portion, but, it's partially severed. Well, he's fighting Vader, and Vader hits him in the head, I think it was like a punch or something, and it fucking knocked the ear clean off.
Oh, God.
So he accidentally knocked that dude's ear off. They finish the wrestling match, and then Foley's in the back. Vader runs back, and he's like, "Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. I knocked off your fucking ear." And I'm pretty sure Foley turns to him and goes, "What?"
That's funny.
But yeah, no, it knocked off dude's ear on accident.
Damn.
It's really unfortunate, but Foley then used that to his advantage when he made his mask for Mankind, which was kind of cool.
Fair enough. Neat.
But rest in peace, Vader, man.
Rest in peace, Vader, man. What did I care about in the last 24 hours? I cared about a quote. A quote that, I'm going to get this put onto a shirt very soon. It'll probably be the next shirt we release. And I was talking to somebody about all the immigration and the children separation and the stuff today. And this was a quote that a friend had heard from somebody else. So if somebody knows where its source is, cool. If not, whatever. And the quote was, they were talking about all the things that are happening right now, and somebody said, "I don't like living through history. It's not fun."
Yeah, it really isn't.
Because, technically everything is history, but there are some things that will be historical, and we are living through one right now. And it's not a positive historical moment. Everything that's happening is very negative on so many different levels and scales. I mean, the closest thing that we had to a positive moment in history was trying to better the people of North Korea. But everything else happening right now is just this really... It's ultimately going to...
Depressing.
Yeah, it's depressing, and it's going to be a stain on history books. Not that America really has that great of history anyway.
No.
But, you know, a lot of...
I mean, for a country that's been in literal, like, war from literally day one.
Yeah. So... That comment really just kind of stuck with me pretty hard of like, yeah, it's not fun. And, you know, I talked earlier about how much I love podcasting, but as much as, like, we do this show 4 days a week and cover only the news that happened in the 24 hours before it, and even just those 4 days of 7 days snapshots just really show you how much the world and humanity sucks a lot.
It's just garbage.
And I know that news is really heavily sensationalist based, and, you know, good news isn't as popular as bad news, and people feed off of drama, so you don't hear as much about the good things that happen. But man, is there just so much bad, and drastically bad too.
Yeah.
Chadwick says, I disagree with you. America is amazing. We should be proud of America. You make me sad.
I am proud of America.
You make me sad.
I got you.
The problem I have, though, is that I'm very much not proud of the people running America, because the people running America are making America shit.
And I would also agree with you as well. America is a pretty great place. America is amazing. I'm very happy to live here. I feel very lucky, and I do not take for granted the freedoms and the opportunities that I have been given by being born in this country. So many places that are not America are immensely shittier than America is. Do not think that I take that for granted. I would not want to live anywhere else except for maybe Japan, because, oh my god, I fucking love Japan. Anyway, but really though, America's a great place. It is just not doing some great things. And I don't want to go. I'm not one of the people that are like, oh man,
great,
Trump got elected, I'm fucking leaving. No, I like being here. I like and love my country. But that is...
country's great, but like our administration right now is lawful evil.
But that is also why these things are so upsetting, because I want America to be better than it is right now.
Absolutely.
And has been.
That's always something to strive for, is for America to be better. Because
or just in general, like, not just America, everyone and everything to be better.
No, absolutely. And we may be like top of the line, but that doesn't mean we can't strive to be better.
Yeah, and I'm not saying America is bad right now either, Chadwick, and I apologize if it felt as though I was saying so. It's just more of that we need to really work on some things. And I'm not saying that it's not even a partisan thing or anything like that. It's that really right now we're like, I know a lot of Trump's decisions are based on that he believes that it is benefiting America, but it's not. And the thing is that we will now be spending the next several decades trying to repair the damage that has been done just in the last year. Because America has now proven that it's going to do whatever it wants, regardless of what the rest of the world or even its own citizens think. And that's not a good impression to give to the world. We've damaged a lot of our alliances that we have with world powers. And we've proven that our checks and balances system doesn't work, that Congress is willing to tolerate somebody like Trump, and that they will just allow him to do something as long as it fits the bipartisan message that they want to push forward.
And shit, we're not looking for a perfect ideal.
I don't believe one exists.
We're looking for an approval rating of over 30%.
So, I don't believe a perfect ideal can exist, but we're not even really fulfilling most of humanity's view of a good or positive ideal right now. Some people do believe so, but the world disagrees. And, well, that's going to be something that even after Trump is gone...
A good majority of people disagree, like a lot of the world.
And that's going to be something that America has to deal with even after the Trump administration is gone.
Our credibility shot.
Yeah, because at any point in time, I say this with quotes, we can elect someone that can just undo so much work in progress. And
even with an approval rating of 47, man, that's still below 50, dude. Less than half of your people approve of you.
So,
and it's not like you're a strong, particularly leader, because you cave into pressure all the time.
yeah.
As proof of today, him signing the executive order after saying, hey, sometimes we need to separate families. He caved into people talking about it.
Like, I don't know. And it's not just Trump either. Like, I mean, he's a good face for it, but he is not solely responsible for
absolutely not
the things that are happening.
A good majority of politicians.
Like, and I don't I don't want you to believe that I'm sitting here believing that I know the answer, because I don't. I don't know who would be the right person. I don't know what the answer is. All I know is that
just because nobody consistently gets above 50 doesn't mean that's not something to strive for.
Like, yeah, it's an interesting, awkward time right now. Because my stance in life is you should live life in such a way that it elevates your happiness and satisfaction without infringing on the happiness and satisfaction of others. And a lot of people will use things to leverage their happiness over others. And if we want to just go on the topic of what has been, talked about today, America was built by immigrants and refugees, and now we treat them like trash.
See, the problem is that, again, shooting for... I'm just addressing Chadwick because he keeps popping up.
Sure.
Shooting for an idealistic situation is not a bad thing if you are full and well ready to accept reality. A lot of people don't, and that's the problem. See, idealistic situations are perfectly fine to shoot for because you're trying to shoot for the best that you can be. You just have to be willing to settle, to compromise.
Like, our current government, our federal government, on a large scale as a whole, not specifically Trump and not specifically the Trump administration, but including our Congress and a decent amount across our agencies, are very selfish and not willing to do anything that doesn't benefit America, even if it benefits mankind. And that is not a position that I want to find this country in, because for the longest time, it was said, that America was one of the greatest countries in the world. In a lot of ways, I still believe it is. But we have the power, ability, and potential to do so much for the world while still helping ourselves. But instead, we are abandoning the world for the sake of making ourselves richer. Not improving America,
and even
making America richer.
Even the people who come here get treated like trash a lot of the time. A lot of the time they're told to go home by a lot of people just walking on the fucking street.
So, I don't know, but it is 6:45, so we are going to be moving out of here so that Nathan can go to his movie. Please remember, everybody, we are holding an Ask Us Anything. If today's episode spawned any questions for you that you want us to answer, submit those to us. We have a pinned post on Facebook. We have a pinned post on our Reddit. You can find our show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit. All of those are at iRedditCast. You can also send us an email to iReddit@mjolnir.media. You can send them directly to me at Sean Michael and directly to Nathan at Bimmenstein. Find anywhere and everywhere that you can send us those questions. We will compile them in a list. I think last time we held it, which was, I think it was on episode 400, we answered all but I think 2 of the questions. One we didn't have an answer to, and one we skipped because it was just like not a question. But we answered the other like 180 questions or whatever was submitted last time.
Yeah.
So please get those submitted to us regardless of the topic, and we will happily answer those. Otherwise, support us by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, picking up some merchandise in the link below, or leaving us a 5-star review on the platforms where you can get our audio-only versions, which are iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, and probably anywhere else that podcast can be found. So, that's it, everybody. That's your 486th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Hugo First.
And please remember, everybody.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Any of you. That's not true. I always vote because it's important.
Yeah.
But anyway, goodbye.
I did vote for some people.
Peace.
Bye.